Thank you. Mr. Koretz is our next speaker, and then Mr. Cardenas, and then Mr. Labange. Mr. Koretz.
I'm very excited that you're being appointed as a 5th District resident and business person, and I wonder if you would just speak to the value of your extensive business experience relating to how you'll serve in this position.
Thank you, Councilman. And I think Councilman's correct. Not only do I live in his district, but spend a lot of time and have a lot of businesses in his district, one of which was a recent hotel that may be analogous that we just renovated. In the last 7 years of this inception of our company, we have north of 3,000 employees in Los Angeles and Las Vegas area. And what that excites us, one of the things that really makes us move every day is the revitalization of distressed areas and distressed properties and turning them into world-class properties. I think Council President Garcetti knows one of our projects was within his district of Hollywood and Vine, and working with the best designers, working with the best branding and operations people, at the same time making it, creating jobs in areas that generally weren't there. In this particular case, I think my skill set at this point really could be very useful in two ways. One is, as we're about to embark in the airport on massive modernization, the understanding of dealing with general contractors on a massive scale, and also an understanding that being proactive versus reactive is the most efficient use of taxpayer dollars, and how a week or a month, even in some cases a day, can cost taxpayers a lot of monies in which change orders and so forth so incur. That's one way I would address your question that I think I could be helpful, because I've done it now for millions of square feet. Secondary is building the experience for the customer, and I call him a customer at the airport. And I think also in Mr. and Councilman Cardenas' district in Van Nuys Airport, I think it's very crucial for him to get certain RFP processes going and making sure they don't get, it's not the same players all the time doing the same things, whether that involves concessions, whether that involves RFPs to certain vendors, whether it involves the advertising and billboard and signage companies that we work with. Those are all up in the next, call it 36 months. I think we can hold them to account, and I have held them to account in our business lines, and hopefully use some of their money that they have committed not just to giving us revenue from advertising, but also giving us revenue so we can build and celebrate our communities in brand awareness. Celebrating our different diversities, our communities, arts programs, local artists from Venice Beach all the way down to East LA that can come and do murals within our airports to make us proud, to give people that vision. So those are some of the ideas in which we would like to pursue and investigate with the commission, with the council, with the mayor's office. And that's some of the stuff that I have done, and I think would be helpful and save money at the same time.
Yeah. Our next speaker is Mr. Cardenas, and after that is Mr. Labange.
Thank you very much. It seems as though you have lived up to the term Renaissance man. You started off with a communications technology company, were very successful at that, and you are now one of the largest owners of multifamily housing in Southern California. You own restaurants, nightclubs, hotels, you're a film producer. I guess you're bored and you don't have enough to do. So you're donating your time to the city of Los Angeles at our LA World Airports on the commission. So first I want to thank you for being so giving and so understanding that it takes citizens like yourself to step up and say, you know what, I want to get back to the community that's given so much to me. So first I want to thank you and congratulate you for that. Secondly, I'm very proud, if you don't mind me saying, to say that you come from a family of immigrants, and so do I. And I think that I would assume that you have a tremendous appreciation for what this country has to offer, and you've been able to be able to take advantage of that in the most appropriate way by pulling yourself up by your own bootstraps, being successful, taking those risks, and being such a successful businessman. So with that, I really like the fact that you've broadened your ability and your willingness to think about so many things, such a variety of responsibilities, and that's what we need at every opportunity on each one of our commissions. The Airport Commission is one of the most important. As you said earlier, that's the first thing people see when they are leaving and come into Los Angeles. And what can you say about what your main focus is going to be once you become a commissioner?
Well, thank you very much for the kind words, Commissioner. I think my main focus is going to be, first of all, to listen and learn and get context. I think we all recognize that LAX specifically, and subsequently Van Nuys and Ontario, and the regionalization of this is crucial. I think the decrease in passengers right now and the relation, this is a three-dimensional issue. This isn't just about, return on investment. There's, as Councilmember Hahn mentioned, you're talking about, city employees, you're talking about people that have dedicated their lives, you're talking about safety and community. So for me, it's really getting an understanding of all that. And, a bond measure that's coming up very quickly here in the next commission board meeting. But more importantly, it's to change the perception of LAX. I think LAX is known as a tired, I was going to say hotel. It's known as a tired airport. We're the second biggest city in the country. I think the most important city in the country. I've invested a lot of time in sharing the message of Los Angeles around the world. And, it frustrates me, and I'm sure it frustrates everybody in this room, when they come and hit the international tower like Tom Bradley, that it really sucks a lot of that energy out. I think we need to use these opportunities, work with concessions, work with local food and beverage operators, work with healthy food and beverage operators, so we're not just having McDonald's or pizza, work with environmentally friendly operators, and show the diversity of the city, not just through a 30-year-old facility. In addition, as I say, in the three-dimensional nature, you're talking about the modernization of Tom Bradley. This may be the biggest, one of the biggest projects LA has ever seen, to make sure that the flow is correct, the retail is correct, the RFPs are not the same players. Let's make it out for competition. And then the messaging of LAX, that this is somewhere, where we're not competing with Burbank, or we're not competing with Orange County, that people can come and have a seamless exit and departure and exit here, and we're not the only game in town anymore as LAX. And also it's little things like looking at our parking street. Why are our parkings at 50% occupancy when that surrounding parking is not? I mean, these are some of the business acumens potentially I could bring. And again, this has been some things that I hope to work with you all and learn and try to implement from my business background.